Hi, Cliff Sewell, Magical Mindset Podcast. Just wanted to give you a bit of a headline is that on the podcast, we're going to have lots of exciting guests, and that's going to be coming to you on a weekly basis, but also on a very regular basis. It's going to be quite a lot of content of just me sat chatting to you, both in the studio, both out and about. Why am I doing that? Because achievement and mindset is consistency. It's every day. I want to just share my everyday thoughts, my ups, my downs, how I've learned, how I still learn, how I'm still moving forward. And I genuinely hope by sharing that content on a daily, weekly basis, you'll see the real Cliff Sewell, not just a guy in a studio with guests, but somebody who's living a life, who's taught himself that magical mindset. And I'm hoping just by those little snippets of bit of information, those individual podcasts, I'll be able to give you that bit of advice, that bit of inspiration, that bit of help for you to go and create your own magical mindset. Hi, Cliff Sewell, Magical Mindset Podcast. Hope you're well. This one is vitally important to me. Lots of the podcasts I'm doing, all the podcasts I'm doing are obviously very important, but I'm not going to deny this one is absolutely vital to me. This is right at the core of what I'm trying to do. This is aimed at men. This is aimed at men. Within that category, we're all talking about men within that age range, we're all talking around where there is a mental health crisis. Let's be frank, let's be open. We keep reading about it. We keep talking about it. I genuinely believe we need to do more and we need to be smarter in what we're doing about it. So let me go back. There is a mental health crisis we keep talking about. That I'm going to say some really challenging words. Words like mental health breakdowns, words like suicide. We've seen the stats. There is a crisis of men who are taking their own lives because of mental health crisis we are going through for men of a certain age globally. So there we are. We're right at it. We're talking about it. I was one of those stats. I was that far away from being a stat of another man of a certain age, of a certain background that took his own life. That was nearly me. You can go back, you can look at what I write about, you can read the book, you can see my other podcasts. I don't need to go on about my story because this is about you. I am talking to men. So if you are a man watching this and you may be in a great place, you may be in a challenging place, I'm talking to you. Now, I will also say, if you're not a man and you are a lady or a daughter or a mum or a wife or a partner, I want you to listen too, because this is important. Now, let's get to it. We keep saying to men, they've got to talk more. We're trying to solve this crisis by telling men they need to talk more. Yes, I know that. Yes, we know that. I'm really, really, really sorry. It's not bloody working. We have to acknowledge that. We have to find different ways of doing it. So if you are a man, I'm talking to you because I was there. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about finding a way to get through, finding a way to find a way, finding a way to make life good again. Now, it's not simple, but it's quite straightforward, which is a contradiction maybe. How did I do it? So I'm not going to talk about me, but what I'm going to tell you is how I did it. So let me be clear. If I found myself in a dark place, the one thing I was not going to do was reach out and talk to people. I wasn't going to go to clubs where men all sit in a room and chat. I wasn't going to ring anybody. I just wasn't. I'm not proud of that, but I'm also absolutely clear that's who I was. I speak to lots of other men now who would totally agree with me, who wouldn't reach out. That doesn't mean we just keep saying, well, you've got to reach out, you've got to reach out. No, what we've got to do is help men find a way of initially dealing with it, a way of initially finding a way through to build the foundations where they will talk about it, where they will go out and embrace the situation. Because I believe we are a little bit, and this is going to be controversial, and I know some people won't like what I say here. I have an awful feeling we are a little bit now in that self-fulfilling prophecy of mental health crisis in men, and then it going into an even bigger crisis. It's almost acknowledged now that's what happens. Well, let's stop it. Let's start right now. Let's stop it. Now, how do we do that? How did I do it? Now, what I'm talking about is wherever you are, I can't talk on how a woman may feel. And I'm generalizing genders there, I'm sorry, but I'm a man, and I'm a man who went through a crisis. I'm talking about how I solved it. I got to a breaking point. And I very, for some reason, whether it be the universe, whether it be some type of God, whether it be a voice somewhere I don't know, I didn't. And then I've spent the last however many years, 5+ years, working on getting from that point to where I sit today. From a point of where I was at breaking point, where I was seriously considering taking my own life one step away, to where I sit now, 5 years on, talking to you, giving you the belief there is a way through. There is a way. There's a plan you can put in place by yourself to begin with that will allow you to do it. How do you do it? 2 minutes at a time, 10 seconds at a time, one thought at a time. What you've got to start with is a number of things. First of all, you've got to start with a purpose. Now, that purpose is nobody else. I'm really sorry, it's you. You're the purpose. You're the reason. I had a family. We all have families. Lots of people have families, and they say, well, that should be a purpose. No, it's quite clear that we still have a crisis with people have families. The purpose has to be you. So stop right there. Stop and think and take a second. Take 10 seconds, take 2 minutes, and stop. Because once, however old you are, once, many years ago, you won your first race. I'm not going to go into explanations of biology, but I think you probably can work it out. Somehow or another, you ended up being born. So you won your first race, you were born. So you were on the planet, and I believe everybody's on the planet for a reason. And then life has gone on. And society has taken over, and you've gone on, and you've achieved, and now you sit today, right now, watching this. I want you to stop, and I want you to take a moment now, whether you're in a great place or a really dark place, it doesn't matter. Just stop and take a moment to think about all the good things that you are. You may only be able to find one. You might be able to find 10. You may be able to find 5, whatever. Find one reason why you like you. One reason why you matter to you. One reason why you will go through the next 2 minutes, and you will go for some more 2 minutes after that. Write that down on your own. Don't reach out. I'm not saying reach out and go to talk to people, just you on your own. Take a moment, shut off the outside world. Take a moment to think of one good thing about you. Every single person, every single man who I talk to, who I know I could talk to right now, if I could talk to you all individually, I know talking to you for 2 minutes, we would be able to find one good reason to get through the next 2 minutes. One good reason to start putting that thing in as a foundation. We pop that in as a foundation, and we remind ourselves of that, and we get through 2 minutes. And then what we do, we remind ourselves of that, and we then smile a little bit. really hard, when it's really dark, you've got debt, you've got challenges, you've got everything going against you. Trying to smile is not easy, but it's something you can control. Take a moment to reflect one thing, take a moment to sit back and try and smile to yourself. How woolly, how woo-woo is that? It got me through. I don't care what anybody tells me about woo-woo and you've got to give more structured advice, Cliff. No, it got me through because I got through 2 minutes and then I got through 5 minutes. And then that started giving me a little bit of belief in who I was and what I stood for. And I stood for one thing. I'd stayed alive. And then I realized I had a responsibility to me and therefore other people to grasp that, to grasp it and take it forward. You find one thing and grasp it, embrace it, absolutely love it. And before you know it, you're 5 minutes in. Then you can then start. Then you can then start really looking at, there will have been good things happen in your life so far. There will have been a load of shit, I'm sure. There will have been some good things. You can hopefully think back to being a young boy where perhaps you wanted to be a footballer, a motor car racer, an astronaut, an inspiration, a really good dad, all those things. Try really hard to think back to how that try and think back to those moments and how that made you feel. What we're looking for is trying to recapture that emotion, that feeling. That's not reaching out to anybody. That's you on your own, trying, but working really hard at finding an emotion that somewhere inside your heart just makes you feel, oh, that's nice, that's good. And you've got to build on those. You've got to build on those. You've got to keep finding those things. And before you know it, you're starting to build some foundations. You are starting to build the foundations for a purpose. You've now got some level ground. Now you can look forwards. If everything could go right for you tomorrow, next week, next year, what would it look like? Write it down. Try it on your own. If everything, forget everything that's going wrong now. Forget everything that is carnage now. Forget everything that is disastrous right now. People will say it's not that easy. Let me tell you, I got to a point where nothing mattered. But then I found things. So what you've got to do is find a vision forwards. Let's stop looking at these stats of negativity. Let's create some stats now of positivity. Let's create some stats of, I'm number one. I'm talking to you. You could be number two. You could be number three. You could be number four. You could be number five. We can then get to hundreds of thousands of men who go, yes, I've got it. I'm going to make it work. I'm going to show gratitude to what I have today. I'm going to find something to be positive about. I'm going to go back to that inner childhood. And I'm going to start building again. I'm going to start smiling again. I'm going to start believing again. I'm going to start creating again. You've got to do that every day for 2 minutes at a time, 2 minutes at a time. It sounds a little bit woolly. I've said it again, but it's real. There's negative out there or there's positive out there. I'm not going to focus on the negative. I'm going to focus right in at you on the positive, what I know, I believe you can do. I believe you can make a difference. And you start by those moments of 2 minutes. You start every morning and you wake up. And even now, I wake up some mornings and I might be quite negative. And even now, some moments I'll think back to my dark days. But I've got that tool in place. I go, no, let's just remember what I'm grateful for. Let's just think of one thing I'm happy about, one thing I'm positive about. Then I can think of, what have I planned? What's the vision look like? What does the future look like? And all of a sudden, those negative bombardment thoughts start going away, and I replace them with good thoughts, positive thoughts, inspiring thoughts, because I've worked at it every single day. I can't solve everything today, but I can solve the next 2 minutes on what I think about. You start doing that, you're going to then create foundations for you to become more solid. You're going to create foundations for your future. Then I'm going to say something that I believe will make a real difference, that if you are in a challenging place at this moment in time, you will find really challenging. We talk about men reaching out to talk. Men really struggle with that. But do you know what men are really good at? Is actually caring. Believe it or not, they're really good at caring for their mates and caring for those around you. Lots of men are really good at that. They're really poor at telling you their own emotions, but what they will do is reach out just to check a mate's okay. So here's something. Wherever you are, when you start working on your foundations, if every one of us found one bloke, one man within your circle, family, friends, down the pub, at work, at the football, whatever, one, and you made it your mission without really, don't make it a thing, don't tell them that's why you're doing it. You make it your mission to be there for them. Now, I'm not saying, hey, look, I'm here for you. You make it your mission to ring them and go, all right, Paul, all right, John, all right, Bob, you all right, mate? Yeah, I'm fine. Great. What are you doing today? And have a conversation. Send them a text. Do something positive. Because what is scientifically proved, emotionally proved, the best way of making yourself better is helping somebody else. I'm not saying we all become counselors. I'm not saying we all go out there and start doing what I'm doing. What I'm saying is if every man found another man to support without it becoming a thing, just making it a thing, I guarantee you, if you do that for them, it will help you. You will feel better because you will know you have done something to help somebody else. That will help you. It's not about reaching out and telling everybody your problems. I'm not saying that. I'm saying put some foundations in place for you. Simple. And I'm going to talk so much more about this coming up over the days, weeks. It's my mission. So please just keep watching the things I'm saying. Not just about men, just about everything. But just keep watching what I'm saying. Watch those 2-minute videos I'm doing, those tools that I keep giving you. But find that foundation, find those 2 minutes, and then take that forwards and just believe. Have some belief that it's going to work, because it will. I'm talking to you. It will work. Build, and then find somebody without making a thing. Reach out, send them a text. All right, Bob, good result last night. And just make it a thing. And almost text them, talk to them almost every day. Nothing wrong with that. Nobody will think it's weird. You can find 2 if you want. If we all help each other without saying you've got to talk, stop telling them to talk, just communicate, that will help you. So by going out, reaching out to others, we're going to help ourselves. Not going to sit in a room of a club and whatever. I get it. They're amazing. I'm not saying no to that. But what I'm saying is that we know just telling men to reach out doesn't work at this moment in time. It's making a difference. We can make a much quicker, a much more successful, a much more positive impact if we talk to ourselves. Talk to you first. Love you first. Yeah, you're a man. Love? Really? Yes, come on. It's 2025, guys. You're allowed to love yourself. You can like yourself. Come on, you're on your own. It's okay. There's nothing woolly or fluffy about it. You're on the planet. You have a right to be on the planet. You have a mission on the planet, and you have a reason to be here. Let's find the reason. So as men, let's do it together, but each of us on our own, and then start building a movement where we did it on our own to help others. I may be having a rant because it's so passionate to me. It's something that's my mission, and I hope it makes sense. Thank you very much. Cliff Sewell, Magical Mindset. Thank you for listening to the Magical Mindset podcast. Please subscribe, leave a review, share around your network. I'm Cliff Sewell. See you next time.